Hysteresis Widget Library by Mike Shannon and Yi-Chin Dang. The Hysteresis widget is a Java Swing widget that is history aware. We have built a library of 8 hysteresis widgets listed here. Each widget is inherited from the Java Swing widget to the left. The constructors and methods of these widgets are the same. All you have to do is add the age. This makes it easy for developers to use. Let's start with JH text field and a JH text group. When JH text fields are selected, the border gets thicker depending on how many times you've selected it, and the outline turns red for the last selected item. You can see here that the thicknesses are different for the bottom 3 widgets. The thickest of the widgets means it has been selected the most. These 5 widgets are in a text group. This means that these text fields are related to each other. So if we click this top widget more, it'll become thicker. This is the JH slider. It keeps track of the 3 most recent positions of the slider. The most recent position is the darkest. Here are JH buttons and JH button groups. Here is kind of similar to JH text group. The one button that you click the most in a button group is the darkest, and the last button you press has a red background. Here you can see 2 buttons with the red background. This is because this is a button group and this is a separate button group at the bottom, so they both have separate relations to each other. You can also see here that these 5 buttons change depending on each other because it only keeps track of the 3 most frequent buttons. Here's a JH scroll bar and a JH scroll pane. A JH scroll pane uses a JH scroll bar. A JH scroll bar keeps track of the last 3 positions. Now let's look at JH tabbed pane. The tabbed pane works similar to buttons. The most frequently pressed tab is the darkest. There is no red border because a JH tab pane already has a default method to show which tab is being selected at the moment. Here you can see that pressing personal information will change the backgrounds of the other tabs. Now let's show how our system keeps history between sessions. Let's change the last name of Shannon to Coveney. And let's change the age from 23 to 25 and the city name to Regina. Let's also click some of these buttons that weren't clicked before. We're going to move the sliders to the middle. We're going to click some of these buttons. We'll change the last button pressed to error reporting and OK. And we'll move the slider position back to its home position at the top. Now let's exit our program. Restart it in Eclipse. And here it is. Now you can see that the city name was the changed name, same with the age, and the last one selected was the city name. Our settings have moved all to the middle and the buttons have been pressed. Error reporting and OK were the last ones pressed. And in general, the scroll bar is back to its home position.